The screen of my phone lit up with a message from Sophie. I thought it was normal, just our usual chat, but my heart sank when I read it. You need to know something about Liam. It's serious. My hand shook. Something felt wrong. I didn't know it yet, but the evening I had planned with Liam would never feel the same again. That message was the start of the nightmare I didn't see coming. Liam arrived at my flat, smiling like nothing was wrong. I forced a smile back, but my mind kept replaying Sophie's words. I tried to enjoy dinner, but every laugh felt fake, and every glance at Liam's phone made my stomach twist. Sophie's warning had planted a seed of doubt, and I couldn't stop it from growing. I kept asking myself, what could she mean? Did she see something? Later that evening, Sophie called me, her voice trembling. "Emma, I think I might be pregnant," she whispered. My heart stopped. I didn't know what to say. The world felt like it had flipped upside down. She told me she wasn't ready, and I felt a strange mix of panic and anger. My mind screamed, why would she tell me this now? Something about her tone didn't feel real, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I told Liam about Sophie's news, expecting him to be supportive, but his face twisted in confusion, then fear. "Are you sure she told you that?" he asked quietly. Suddenly, it felt like Sophie's words were a storm, and we were both trapped in it. Liam's trust in me was shaken. I hated seeing him like that, but I also hated feeling like I couldn't protect us. I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying everything about Sophie's sudden confession. I remembered small things, like the way she looked at Liam, the jokes that were too close to the truth. It hit me. Maybe Sophie had been jealous of me all along. But how could I prove it? I felt trapped, watching someone I loved being pulled away by lies I couldn't yet see. The next morning, Liam seemed distant. He kept checking his phone, and I noticed a strange hesitation in his voice. "Do you think Sophie really—" He trailed off. I wanted to believe him, to trust that he was overthinking, but the doubt Sophie planted was growing fast. Every small gesture, every word, felt like a test. My stomach ached, and I realized that Sophie had already begun her plan to come between us. Sophie sent me another message. "You should probably see this." It was a photo of a positive pregnancy test, blurry but believable. My hands trembled as I stared at it. I didn't know if I should believe it, but the fear was real. Liam looked over my shoulder, his face pale. "Emma, is this true?" I couldn't answer him. Even though my gut screamed that something was wrong, the evidence seemed undeniable. I wanted to confront Sophie, but every time I tried, she avoided me. Her calls went to voicemail, and texts came with excuses. I felt panic mixed with anger. Liam suggested we give her space, but inside, I knew Sophie was manipulating us. It was like watching a shadow move in my life, shaping things I didn't control. The fear that our relationship could break apart was suffocating. At work, Sophie acted normally around me, smiling and joking, but the texts kept coming, cryptic and unsettling. I began noticing small signs, things she said about Liam, about us, that didn't make sense. I felt trapped between love and suspicion. Was she my best friend, or was she working against me all along? Every laugh she gave felt like a trap, and I realized I couldn't trust anyone fully anymore. Liam finally broke. "Emma, I don't know what to think anymore. I want to believe you, but—" His voice trailed off, his eyes full of confusion. My heart ached. The trust we built was crumbling, and Sophie's plan was working better than I feared. I felt isolated, trapped in a web I couldn't see clearly. The night fell, and with it came the weight of knowing our love was being tested in ways I never imagined. Sophie showed up at my flat with a gift for Liam, a small box with a bracelet inside. She smiled too widely, too perfectly. "Just a little something," she said. Liam thanked her awkwardly, and I felt my stomach twist. Why would she give him something now, after everything? It didn't feel like a kind gesture. It felt like a warning, a reminder that she could interfere whenever she wanted. That night, Sophie texted me again. "You should check the bathroom." My heart raced. I found a hidden pregnancy test taped behind the bathroom door. It was clearly staged. My mind screamed that this was fake, but my heart whispered doubt. Liam noticed my strange behavior, but I couldn't tell him the truth yet. Sophie had turned our lives upside down, and I felt powerless. Liam started avoiding me. He said it wasn't about trust, but I could feel the distance growing. Every conversation felt strained, every laugh forced. Sophie had planted a seed of suspicion so deep that even I, who knew the truth, began questioning small moments. Our love, once strong, felt fragile, like a glass about to shatter. I confronted Sophie in the park, trying to stay calm. "Why are you doing this?" I asked. She laughed nervously, almost slipping. I didn't mean for it to go this far," she muttered. My heart raced. Was it guilt or just another trick? I knew then that Sophie's jealousy had grown too strong to stop herself, but I didn't yet know how deep her lies went. Liam finally confronted me after a long, silent evening. "I don't know who to believe anymore," he said, his voice trembling. "I feel like I'm losing you." I wanted to explain everything, but Sophie's lies had left too many gaps. I held him, afraid our relationship might break permanently. The night felt heavy, filled with fear and unanswered questions. And I realized we were running out of time to save what we had. I started going through Sophie's texts when she wasn't looking. Some messages didn't add up, ones she had deleted from Liam's phone and mine. My heart pounded as I realized she had been planning this for weeks. Each message was like a puzzle piece, showing the depth of her jealousy. I felt a mix of fear and determination. I couldn't let her ruin my life any longer. I met Clara, my mum, for tea, needing guidance. "You have to be careful, Emma," she said softly. "Sometimes people you trust the most can hurt you in ways you don't see coming." Her words hit me hard. I realized I needed proof, concrete proof, before confronting Sophie. But the thought of losing Liam because of lies made me feel trapped and desperate. The next day, Liam received a call from Sophie, but I overheard part of it. She mentioned a friend who had helped you with the test. My heart raced. Finally, a lead. I wrote down every detail I could remember. I felt closer to uncovering the truth, but also more afraid. Sophie's lies were dangerous, and if I confronted her too soon, she could destroy everything. I gently shared some inconsistencies with Liam. "Remember how she said she wasn't ready, but then posted something online?" I asked. His brow furrowed, and I saw the first flicker of doubt in his eyes. He was starting to see the cracks in Sophie's story. It was a relief, but the danger wasn't over. Sophie would notice if we started piecing things together. I decided to follow Sophie discreetly. She met someone in a quiet park, whispering and exchanging something small. I couldn't see clearly, but I knew it had to do with her fake pregnancy. My hands shook with adrenaline. For the first time, I felt like I had proof, but also realized the risk if she noticed me. I had to act carefully, or everything could fall apart. I spent the weekend collecting every piece of evidence I could find: deleted messages, social media posts, even photos of Sophie meeting her mysterious contact. Each discovery made me more certain that Sophie had been manipulating us all along. I felt a mix of relief and dread. Relief that I knew the truth, dread at the thought of confronting her. This was the moment I had to be careful. I finally shared my findings with Liam. His face turned pale as he scrolled through the messages and photos. "I can't believe she would do this," he whispered. For the first time in weeks, I felt we were a team again. But I also knew Sophie wasn't done. She would fight back if she sensed we were on to her. Sophie sent a strangely vague text. "I know you're snooping." My heart skipped. She had realized something. I froze, unsure if she would escalate her lies or confront us directly. Liam held my hand, whispering, "We'll handle this together." Fear mixed with determination. I knew the final showdown was near. I arranged to meet Sophie in a quiet cafe, evidence in hand. "I know everything," I said firmly. Sophie's smile faltered, and I saw panic flash in her eyes. "You don't understand," she started, but I held up the photos and messages. Liam stood beside me, silent but protective. For the first time, Sophie couldn't lie convincingly. Sophie's facade finally cracked. I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered, tears in her eyes. She admitted she had faked the pregnancy, jealous of our relationship. I felt anger, sadness, and relief all at once. Liam squeezed my hand, and I realized we could finally move forward, though the betrayal would take time to heal. After Sophie's confession, Liam and I spent days talking. Every detail of the lies, every moment of doubt was addressed. It wasn't easy. Trust had been broken. But as we shared our fears and frustrations, I felt the bond between us grow stronger. I realized that surviving this together could make our relationship unshakable. Sophie reached out with a handwritten note. She apologized sincerely, explaining her jealousy and admitting how wrong she had been. I read it quietly, feeling a mix of pity and sadness. Forgiveness didn't come instantly, but it felt important to acknowledge her words. It was a step toward closure, even if our friendship would never be the same. My mom and dad helped me process everything. "You've handled this bravely," my mom said, squeezing my hand. Liam joined us, and for the first time in weeks, the house felt warm and safe. I realized that love and support from family and partners could heal even the deepest wounds. The nightmare was over, but lessons remained. Liam and I took small steps to rebuild trust, going on walks, having honest conversations, laughing together again. Each day felt lighter. Sophie faded from our daily lives, a painful memory that taught us how precious honesty and loyalty are. We promised ourselves never to let outside jealousy destroy what we had built. Months later, Liam and I sat on a park bench, watching the sunset. I felt a deep sense of gratitude, grateful for love, for clarity, and for surviving betrayal. Sophie's lies no longer haunted us. We were stronger, wiser, and closer than ever. Life had tested us, but we had come out together. For the first time in a long while, everything felt right again.